Hey everyone, Roger here from Ask Car Experts YouTube channel. This is my friend's X3 M40. Let's check out all the modifications he's done so far. Today we're going to be upgrading his speakers to Harmon Kardon. He has a base speaker set, and these speakers came out of my friend's 5 Series that we upgraded to the BAV sound. So we replaced the rear lights to the smoked version. This is the LCI version. I have a full video on how to do this on your vehicle. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link up in the corner. He did a new badge. He changed out the M40i. Coming around here, he upgraded the wheels also to the 50th anniversary style BMW logo. 50th anniversary front logo, shadow line front grills. He changed out the fog light area. This is called the boomerang section. And the highlight is the front diffuser. And there's a shot of the front diffuser. It looks absolutely awesome. We're going to be changing out the speakers. We're going to have a door panel off. I'm going to show you how to take the trim off for the center dash. All right, check this out. So he actually changed the whole touchscreen from a G12, so all touchscreen. It looks absolutely amazing. So you would need to get a new touchscreen if you can source one off of eBay or something from a used car off of a G12. It's going to work in your X3 M40. And we're going to be placing the tweeter and speaker mid-range in the rear door as well. So we're going to show you how to take the front door, rear door, dash trim out. And he changed out the cluster look to an Alpina look, which looks absolutely fantastic, and that was using Beamer coating. Here's our current sound. Starting with the rear door panel, this is actually really simple. We're gonna take this trim off here, and then right under here, we have one screw that's a T25 also. There should be 2 additional screws that are also T25. Let's get this door panel off. T25. All right, good way to start. The screw on the bottom doesn't want to come out, so putting a small wedge in the bottom to give it some pressure, and hopefully with a little bit of pressure we can back this screw out correctly. Just a couple of wedges, some slight pressure outward, and we're able to walk the screw out. All right, we're going to move to this trim right here. Simply pry along the bottom edge with a plastic pry tool. Here it is. You can see the trim's only held on by these metal clips right here. And then we have 2 torque screws, one here and one here. Now taking your plastic tools, just go around the perimeter of the door and pop all of the clips free. Okay, disconnect the door cable. You just pull that off the holder and then take it off the door lock actuator. Yep. Disconnect the tweeter. So if you have 2 people, you can have one person hold the door panel. Otherwise, you'll have to take the wiring off to get this done, but it's not too hard. You just have to route it the same way. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the speaker here. Since I'm not here today by myself, so it's just 3 screws for this speaker, very easy. Yep, disconnect the body. Okay, stock to a BMW Harmon Kardon. You can actually see the difference. You can see this is very plain. This definitely has some nice insulation around it. It's more robust and must have bigger magnets is my guess. Go ahead, flip it over. Is there anything on the opposite side that would stand out? Again, not quite as robust as the Harmon Kardon. Let's pop this in. And it's plug and play. Same thing with the BAV sound speakers. If you're upgrading to a BAV sound, you just have to plug it into the existing harness and screw it in, 3 screws. Very easy for the door panel as well. We're going to move on to the tweeter. All right, now for the tweeter, I'm just gonna support the door panel. Like I said, you could easily remove the whole door panel if you want to. It's just held in by these clips on the sides right here. So just use a pick. Wow, that's a big difference. And this should be plug and play. We just have to take the Harmon Kardon one and pop it into place. There she is. All right, ready to go back on? You want to do this cable first? Sure. Gives you a little bit more room. I'm gonna hook up the door cable first. Then we just have the tweeter to hook up to the speaker we replaced. Remember to flip up your door lock rod and get that going in there first before you lower everything down. And then you have to lower this edge onto the window holder ledge. And then it should stay in place once you're there. You can feel that you're lined up on the sides and go ahead and push everything in. That's all it takes to remove and install the door panel to get to the speakers. All right, 2 screws. And the bottom one, hopefully it goes in easier than it came out. Have to put the back side in first. Slides right in there. Line everything up and it's just press fit in. That's it, that's the full door, and you do the same thing on the opposite side. We're gonna throw some music on, see if it sounds any different. There you go, a little crisper, a little clearer. Let's just take a quick look at the stock speaker versus the Harmon Kardon. The stock speaker, the magnet is way smaller. Right, it's actually super weak, look at that, right? Wow, here's the Harmon Kardon magnet. Jeez, I can't even pull that off. And here is the stock speaker magnet. That is sad. Harmon Kardon, I can actually pick the speaker up with the internal magnet. Jeez, it doesn't let it go. Come on, let it go. And this is the BMW factory one. Now look at the tweeter too. It's very sad. This is the factory stock tweeter. It's very tiny, very flat. Again, very, very low magnetic quality. And then this is the Harmon Kardon one, which I can't lift it out, but it definitely has a lot more magnetism. And that's what creates a great speaker, is having a good magnet inside the speaker. I was just checking out the quality of the internals here, and I was just pushing gently on the speaker, and you can see this actually folded over with very little pressure. The Harmon Kardon is way more robust. Moving to the front door, we have 2 screws on the bottom now, 2 Torxes on the bottom. The same trim panel comes off just by prying along the bottom edge, and then we have 2 screws here. So you have to take the tweeter off first before the door panel. You're going to take a pry tool and just press in here. There's some locking tabs along here, and then it's actually just pushed into the seal and it should come off. We're going to take care of that right now. Simple as that, and then the plug's right here. And the tweeter is underneath this foam panel. You just remove the foam, and there it is right there. It's going to be the same. Pry off a couple of these locking tabs and lock in a new tweeter. Yeah, that goes. Okay, ready for installation. You can put that aside and take the door panel off. There's one. There she is. Wow. So I guess the trick on this is start up here at the top, because this has more leverage. Then you can get this one off, and then you can pull the other ones off. Second screw. 2 screws on the bottom. Take your plastic pry tool, go around the perimeter and pop the clips free. There she is, and then slightly lift up over the lock rod. And the door panel is off. It's going to be a little tighter, so pop the wiring harness off for the tweeter, and I'll support the door so we can have access to the speaker and not have to take it all the way off. So if you've got another set of hands, it absolutely does help. Then we just have the 3 screws for this mid-range speaker right here. Switching out with the Harmon Kardon, it's plug and play. Plug in the 2 connections here. One has the input from the amplifier, and the other one actually is the pigtail that goes up to the tweeter. Okay, next step is just to put the door panel back on. It does sit in this ridge up here. Make sure that you have your electrical connection back in the same location on top here for when you put everything on. It's good to line it up at the mirror location, and then you have to flip over the lock rod. Yep, once you're in this upper ledge, then you can lock it on. Simply plug in the tweeter. And this should be nice and easy. It just goes around it, pushes into the seal, and clip everything in, and you're all set. Just have to put the 2 screws in and the trim panel. Okay, the back end trim goes in first. This should go on a lot easier than it came off. Quick little side note, we had to do the pressure trick on this, so this just might be the design of these door panels, and they don't want to back out. So you got to put a little bit of pressure on it, and then walk the screw out slowly, and then once that's out, you're good to go. Okay, lift it up, and you have the 2 connections, one from the amp and one for the tweeter. And we'll get that out of the way. So to get to the tweeter on this one, we have to remove this bracket. So you have to take the whole dash out. No, just kidding. You're just going to take these screws out right here. This bracket should come out. T20 screws for these. Keep in mind when you're taking these screws out, you don't want to drop them into your dash and end up with a rattle. Then you would really have to take the dash out potentially, or fish around with a magnet. Okay, once all the screws are out, you just have to lift it right out, and the tweeter's on the back side, and it's the same procedure. Just have to pry that out. To push the 2 tabs back and push it on the other side with your hand, and this one's even easier to pop out. If you're struggling with these tweeters, you actually just have to catch like just the top lip, and then it locks in. If you try to go too deep with it, that's when it's going to jam up on you. All right, ready to go back in. Re-secure with the 4 screws. Hey, now you can put your mid speaker on, and it really doesn't matter in the connection. One's an input, one's an output. So whichever way you connect it, it doesn't really matter. And remember, same thing, when you're tightening these down, you're going into plastic, so just gently snug. Cover installation, just line it up. This is actually super simple, and press it slowly around the perimeter to get it started, and then you can finish it off so you don't crack anything. And we're done. Time to check out, see what the sound sounds like. That sounds amazing. Nice, big difference. That sounds great compared to the stock speakers.